Hey, everybody, going live. Hope you are doing well. Today is Tuesday, and we are going to do what I call my Two for Tuesday. Some days I do it on a Wednesday or Friday, just depending on the schedule. But basically, what this is I'm going to answer your questions in a Q&A, and while people get on, I'll chat a little bit. And then somewhere in the middle, as the questions start to lag, I will throw in some CSS critiques as well. Got some good ones today. So let's chat about what I did this weekend. This weekend, I wrote an article. It was just a fun one because I did these two workouts and it made me realize that time is relative, right? So you can really go nuts with that and talk about Einstein's theory of relativity if you want, but this is a fitness show and, people will laugh at that. So, but it is relative. And here's some exercises that prove it. We did a 10-minute death by push-up workout where you get in a plank pose, and every minute on the minute, you do 10 push-ups for 10 minutes. So you get 100 push-ups and you get a 10-minute plank pose in there. And time just moves really slowly in between those 10 push-ups. Really really challenging, but it's fun. It's a good little mental check. Um, then the other one is 10 minutes of pull ups where you do 10 pull ups every minute on the minute, and you just rest, just hang out, and you don't have to hang on the pull up bars. That'd be almost impossible. I don't think I could do it, and anybody I know could do it, but sure, somebody could. But no, you just shake it out. You do your 10 pull ups, and every minute on the minute, you do 10 pull ups. And let me tell you, that time in between those pull ups goes by really fast. So you really start to lose the amount of time to rest. So put those two side by side, and you see time moves real slow, time moves real fast, depending on what you're doing. And it got me thinking about, just events that where time moves really slow, and it is a grueling mental challenge to get through it. And there's so many of them. Treading water is one of them. If I told you to swim for 10 minutes, you would say, no big deal. I'll swim for 10 minutes. Probably get 600 meters in 10 minutes. But if I tell you to tread water for 10 minutes with no hands, it starts becoming really challenging. So we'll take questions here in a minute, and you can go ahead and post them if you'd like. But yeah, a 10-minute tread warm up is a great way to start introducing yourself to events that are mentally challenging, also physically challenging because there's a technique involved. And once you get good at your swim, you probably want to practice some treading if you're going into a spec ops program that requires diving or a lot of swimming. That those are really important. However, there are some little tools to master this time when time is moving really slow. And I always say you just got to go to your happy place. If you're able to not think about the time of it sucking, whether you are in a plank pose or you are treading water or wet and sandy or just sitting in the surf zone, getting cold and singing songs. There's some tricks that I used to do that was very helpful. And it made me vision. I basically just thought about when the day was over. So I was in a mindset of completing this day no matter what. And so when I was cold and wet and the days are long, I would imagine, okay, what am I going to do when I get back to the barracks? I'm going to take off these wet clothes and jump in the shower, turn on the warm water and just soak it in, shampoo, soap up, clean up, dry off, put on some, sweatpants, sweatshirt, start eating something to, just kind of fill in some of the, burn that has gone on that day. maybe think of your favorite foods that you know you're going to eat when you get there. I used to eat like a couple bananas and a big glass of milk, um, things like that, and just thought about how it tasted, everything. Just got to go into a lot of detail of all these little things, and it just distracts you, so you're not thinking about the suck that is occurring right now. And you're in a mindset of completing this, so it's a healthy mindset. You're not going off to num land and just trying to disengage. You're actually thinking about, when I'm done with this is what I'm going to do. So anyway, it was just one of those things that was very helpful whenever you had to think about just enduring things that sucked. But anyway, give that a shot and see what you think about it. Let's start taking some questions. Do I do dance videos on TikTok? No, I do not. In fact, if you go to my TikTok, if you see it right here, Stu Smith 50 on TikTok, you will see nothing but pool water and me swimming or voiceover correcting people who are swimming the CSS. So, all right. So, good question, though. No, I don't dance. Let's see. Biggest regret was not joining. Gotcha. Understand. Okay, let's move on. Hey Sue, what would a good 5K, 10K time before attending Elite Regiment's basic training? These aren't part of the fitness test. I would say if you can keep that thing in between a 6-minute mile, I guess if you're talking kilometers, you know what a mile reference is. So 3.1 miles, if you can do that in, under 19 minutes, I think that's really good. If you can do a 10K and at 6.2 miles, so if you can do that and under 40, it's pretty good. I mean, if you can get closer to 36, even better. That's pretty challenging pace right there. If you can do 6 miles in under 40. Oh, 42. Sorry, my math was escaping me. That was a 6-minute mile. So yeah, I would say, somewhere between 6 and 7 minute, closer to 6-minute mile on the 5K, closer to 7-minute mile on the 10K. Anything faster than that is fine, but you still need to get good at other things. You need to have some upper body strength, you have some lower body strength. You need to be able to carry weight on your back in backpacks. So that comes with a strength element that, if you're running sub 5-minute miles and sub 6-minute miles, that's great, but you may have some understandable weaknesses that come with that, being too fast, because you're focusing primarily on running and not doing any strength training. Are you familiar with Army Ranger process? Is it longer than getting to buds? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you got to go through basic BCT, basic combat training, and then you got to go through infantry training. I think the two combined, correct me if I'm wrong, is probably 4 or 5 months there at least. Then you got to go through airborne, which another 3 weeks, or with lag time a month there, and then you can. Not sure how that works after that, but there is a RASP process at that point where you can go to RASP, and depending on the dates of that, there may be some wait time before you get into that. But is it longer? I'd say it's about the same. I'd probably say like after 7 months of you leaving, you'll probably be getting ready for either buds first phase. Well, 2, maybe 5, 6 months. Might be a little longer, but not much. I mean, you're looking at minimal times. Yeah, mental challenging exercises. Yes, good drill. Okay, taking some more questions. Let's see. I was curious about general diet programs and which one you think is good to utilize. Thought of carb cycling, intermittent fasting. I mean, if you're trying to lose weight, at the end, you just have to figure out a way to eat fewer calories and burn more calories. So at the end of the day, you need to have a caloric deficit in order to lose weight. If you're trying to maintain weight and you're working out a lot, you may have to eat a lot more. Trying to gain weight, you need to eat a whole lot more. So it really depends on what your goal is. Let's see. Think about all the money I can make because I'm mentally and physically tough. Lots of people can't do specific jobs because they're soft. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Let's see. What's the best way to get back into fitness again? Progressively. Don't do too much, too soon, too fast. In fact, I will share with you a beginner fitness article I wrote that has 2 beginner fitness programs in there, and they're free. So, and it even has a meal plan in there as well to lose weight. It's pretty basic. So, but the goal of being a beginner is building the habit of training again. Where people screw up is they just go nuts and start running 5 miles the first day of the first week, and they haven't run in months, and next thing you know, they're hurting. The shins hurt, knees hurt, everything hurts, and then they quit doing it. Or they're lifting weights too heavy too soon, because they used to lift weights in high school. That's where a lot of people screw up. So don't be like that. Yeah, pace yourself, nice and easy. The goal, like I said, the goal is effort, consistency, and building a habit. If you can do those 3 things, your beginner fitness program will work for you. And that can be as simple as doing some calisthenics and walking every day and drinking a ton of water. So think about that when you're getting back started. All right, so looks like some of these questions. All right, so we're going to go into see if I can share my screen. I always screw this up, so bear with me. All right, so it looks like you guys can see this swimmer. I'm going to start it back off at the wall just so I can get a decent time on what he's doing. So we got a good kick off the wall. Like, he did not go into a breaststroke pullout. You don't have to do a breaststroke pullout, but it will increase your stroke count, but you get to breathe earlier. So there's a trade-off. So here we go. We got a top arm, bottom arm, breaststroke kick. Not bad. And he does a pretty good job. He turns to his side to inhale, does a breaststroke kick. He could be a little more streamlined with not only the arm recovery that's going over his head, but see how his arms are right there. He can tuck his chin a little bit more, put his biceps on his ears, lock those elbows out. Look more like a torpedo in the water. He still has a couple more inches that he could streamline just with this position right there. And then now he tries a breaststroke pullout. That was okay. Probably need to look at breaststroke pullout a little closer on YouTube. But yeah, this is actually pretty good. I mean, if you do the math on this, at the end of this stroke, let me see, where's he going to be? He's going to be at 47, 48. Yeah, it's under 50 seconds. So if he could maintain that pace for 9 more laps, he's going to be somewhere between 8 flat as well as between 8 flat and 8:30, which is really good. So that's pretty good. So how long were you in the SEAL teams for? I did almost 8 years in the SEAL teams. SAS are very good. Worked with the SBS back in the 90s, and they were solid. So I don't know. I mean, SAS are completely solid. We put it this way: we've modeled all of our special ops around the British SAS and some of the Israelis too. But back in before terrorism was a big thing here in the United States after 9/11, the only terrorism that was going on was in the Mediterranean. So you would have, or Ireland, right? You had the IRA and England going back and forth dealing with anti-terrorism. So, in my day, we learned anti-terrorism stuff from those operations that British SBS, SAS did, as well as the Israelis. So there you go. So it's a different world after 9/11. Getting back to that now, but terrorism ain't going anywhere. So it will be busy again eventually. Tips to transitioning from running 1.5 miles to 4 miles. All right. So I do have a great article actually for that. And it is called A Running Plan to Get You to and Through Selection. Okay. Check this out. I'm going to put it in the links or into the comment section below. And you can see what I just did. So this little link here, it's a great little article over on StuSmithFitness.com. I'll put it in the description as well if you want. But check this out because it's I think it's a 6-week program, and it focuses on 2 things. You need a 6-minute mile to run a mile and a half, but you need to focus on a 7-minute mile to run 4 miles. So there's 2 different paces you need to practice and get good at. All right. So that's how we transition. A couple of days are 6-minute mile days, a couple of days are 7-minute mile days, and a little bit longer runs. So practice that. I can't find out how to stop gassing out after 50 meters of swimming. This is one of my favorite questions, because I wrote an article that answers your question in the title. And it is called, Dude, You're Not in Swimming Shape. Check this out. I see this one all the time, right? You are not in swimming shape. If you're getting winded at 50 meters, you're not in swimming shape. You need to keep swimming. How do you get swimming? Now, another great article to get in better swimming shape is called the 50-50. Right? So once again, I'm going to post this baby too. Boom, right there. So this article here is called the 50-50 workout to crush swim tests in less than a month. So this will get you in shape, but you got to do this 4 to 6 times a week in order to get in swimming shape. And I've had guys go from not being able to finish a 500 to dropping down to under 10 minutes, and then going from 10 minutes all the way down to 8 minutes. So 500-yard swim doing the CSS. So yeah, it works. You just got to do it. So one of my favorite articles, Dude, You're Not in Swimming Shape. Just kind of makes me laugh whenever I have to send somebody that one, because you just need to get in swimming shape. You might be able to run a 5-minute mile, but guess what? Swimming that fast isn't going to happen until you get into swimming shape. All right. Speaking of swimming, let's go back to a video share. Let's do another one here. Can't remember which one we just did now. Let me see. Okay, this is a different one. All right. So get over here to my screen share, Windows, boom, boom. All right. So let's watch this guy. So he kicks off. Oop. Come on now. What just happened? He made it all the way to the other side real quick. Okay, kick off the wall. Decent streamline. I like that. Head down, hands over his head, straight, locked out. Got a decent kick, top arm, bottom arm, kick and glide. Does a little bit of the early rollover, which can turn a scissor kick into a breaststroke kick real quick, and you lose a little power. But it's still, the reason why he's able to do this pretty well is he's got a pretty decent streamline. So a good streamline will, now that's a bad one right there. You don't want to be this shallow when you do this, because that right there is nothing but surface tension slowing you down. And if you notice, he had to recreate all the momentum. See all that momentum right there that he just had from here to here? He loses it all when he does this. Boom. Put on the brakes. That's what he did. So top arm, bottom arm, kick and glide. He can get rid of all these little extra flutter kicks. Just a waste of energy. Notice is not doing anything but just kicking, not really going anywhere. Just glide. Hold the glide. He's not horrible, but is a little slow. Probably hit him a minute. That turnaround could be a little faster on the other side. But could be a little better on that one. Let me show you a better one. So I'll get let me see. I know I had a better one in here. All right, yeah, these were really good. May have shown this one before, but we'll do it again because it's that good. Let's see. All right. So look at this. That is a really good streamline. And even if he screwed up a few things with his arm pull and didn't glide that far, because he has this good a streamline, it'll make up for several seconds every length. All right. So I swear the number one most important part of swimming is streamline body position. Right. In fact, it's so important, I'm going to put it into the answers down here before moving on to this one. All right. So check this out. All right. Make sure he's moving. Sometimes when all right. Going to reshare this one. All right. Make sure you guys can see this. You guys ready? All right. So he's kicking off the wall. Got a great double arm pull. Look at that. Transitions in. Doesn't lose any steam. Perfect. And this is nice and easy. He could hold the glide a little longer because he's so streamlined. He'll probably get another yard out of that. Yeah, this is one of the best swimming 50 meters I've seen quite a while. Good breaststroke pullout, head's tucked, transition, head down, good glide. Look at that, one stroke. Looks so easy. Two strokes. Let's see how he's gliding. One Mississippi, two Mississippi, pull. Nice. Three strokes. He's like 4 strokes, and he did that in 45 seconds. So if he can string 9 more of those together, that guy's got himself a 7:30 swim. Very relaxed, and that's the key. And he can slow it down a little more and just do 8 flat and still have a lot of juice in the tank for the rest of the PST. Because remember, it's not, don't waste it all in the pool, because you have push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and a mile and a half after the 500-yard swim. So the rule is conservation of energy in the swim is critical so you can crush the other events. I've seen people who are really good at calisthenics and running, they suck at swimming. And then because they suck at swimming so much, they're just muscling through the water, and then they just aren't very good at all the pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, and the run anymore because they're spent. Very important to be more efficient in the water. I'm going to show that one again. In fact, I got another one to show that's pretty good too. Hang on a second. And then I'll take some more questions. This one was a really good one as well. So let's see. Share my screen. This is a good week because I haven't screwed up sharing my screen, but I may do it now that I said I won't. All right, so kick off the wall. All right, so notice this streamline off the wall. Once again, streamline matters. Look at that. Perfect. Streamline off the wall, double arm pull, looks good. Transition, top arm, bottom arm, kick and glide. And he could hold the glide a little longer too, but he's not putting in a lot of energy here. He'll probably still do this in like 5 strokes. He could probably do it in 4, but here's the trade-off. Unfortunately, if you're too efficient and you're only doing 3 or 4 strokes to get across the pool, that means you're also only breathing 3 or 4 times. You can get really winded. So, I usually throw in an extra stroke in there if I feel like I need to breathe again. Look at that. That was 42 seconds. That's a 7-minute swim right there. He sent a little more than a 50. So we'll watch him do this again. Now, unless he's going to swim a 7-minute, I don't recommend starting out this fast. I would personally recommend starting off with somewhere between 45 and 48, and that will put you in that 7:30, 8-minute flat. If you're this good, right? You do that 9 more times, you're going to get 8 minutes every time if you can do a 48-second 50. This is still really good. And those extra kicks, you could probably do without them, but they're more kind of like arm pull kicks. Yeah, look at that, man. That's a 130. So he's done 2 back-to-back 45s. He may slow down a little bit on this next one. Let's see where he is coming in. Oh, man, he sent me a lot. That's pretty good. 215 right there, turning around. All right, so that was good. That was really good. Thanks for sending those in. Tips for swimming without goggles are a good question because you're going to have to learn how to swim without goggles. And even swimming with a mask is odd. 99% of your swims at Buds will be with fins and a mask on. So you'll have to learn how to be a mouth breather whenever you are swimming and diving. But then when I swim without goggles, I usually squint the whole time. And I can just barely see the black line on the bottom. And that's helpful because if you look wide open and kick off the wall with your head up and all that water just hits you right square in the eyes and just with force, you don't want to do that. So tuck your head down, look straight at the bottom, just look at that black line. Keep your eyes shut a little bit if you need to, but every now and then look up a little bit. Yeah, Mike, you had a great swim there. Let's see. Take another question here. Would you recommend still pushing off the pool length in around 25 yards for a timed 500? I have no idea what you're just asking there. Every time you get to a wall, make it good. Make it count because that will be the fastest you will be in a 500-yard swim. Those first 5 or 6 yards off a wall, that's the fastest you will ever be. In that length, you will slowly start to slow down a little bit. All right. Yeah. Okay. Is it okay to look up and instead of sideways during the CSS? I find it more comfortable and the water doesn't get in my nose. I don't know. I mean, as long as you can keep one ear in the water, you can definitely do this stroke. But if you're looking up like this, what's going to happen is it's going to change your body position and you're now going to swim kind of diagonal, right? And that's not good. You want to stay flat. So turn to breathe like a screwdriver. Don't pop up to breathe because as soon as you pop up, your feet drop and it's hard to flatten back out. And plowing through the water like this is much harder than going through the water like this. I would have to see it to really give you an answer if that's good or not. Buds, do you learn free dive? No, we do not. We do a 50-meter underwater swim, but we don't go deep at all. In fact, even when we dive, we only go 20 or 30 feet, but we go 20 or 30 feet for miles this way. We don't dive deep at all. Okay, let's try to fix this up again. I meant your actual pool length. You are being graded on is a well, you should have said that then. Don't read your mind. You're going to be a little slower in a 50-meter pool than you are in a 25-meter pool because of the speed that you get off the walls. So the fewer walls you have, the slower your 500 will be. So, yeah, you can turn your neck. That's fine. All right, let's see. Any other questions? Guys got any more for me? Send them. I'll give a few more minutes. It's been about 30 minutes. I think I've shown all my videos. Let me see. I might have one more video to show. Yeah, we'll show this one. I think this one's all right. I think we have some things that he does wrong. So sometimes it's good to show people who are screwing it up and then correct them versus perfectly done CSSs. Though I like the guys that are flawless, I will say. Does look good. All right, so we got to kick off the wall. Got these big board shorts on. Also wrote an article the other day about board shorts or jammers. I have seen the difference between these and a pair of jammers being anywhere from 30 to 40 seconds in a 500-yard swim. So if you want to drop some time off fast, get some tighter shorts. It makes a difference. Okay, so we got a good kick off the wall, decent double arm pull, but this jumping jack version of the breaststroke pullout is not very effective. You need to do a research on YouTube called the breaststroke pullout. Now you can see here, there's no glide to this. He goes straight from the pull breathe kick into the pull breathe kick. Right, there is no glide in this except for when he kicks off the wall. But notice top arm, kick, top arm, bottom arm, kick. He's got to hold this glide right here just a little longer, right? I usually count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. In fact, I'll send you another article in the comment section. Let's see. Send you another article in the comment section here. Yeah, he just needs to hold the glide a little longer. So check out this. This is the sequence of events right here. If you go to Stu Smith Fitness and do a search on pull, breathe, kick, glide, or you can go to Google, pull, breathe, kick, glide, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, repeat. That's the actual name of the article because that is the sequence of the combat swimmer stroke that you need to get good at doing. Just put it in your head. Top arm, pull, breathe while you're doing the bottom arm, kick, hold that streamlined position for a glide of 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Then pull when you reach 3. Not 3 Mississippi or 4. Pull on 3. It'll work really well for you. All right, so best way to practice 50-meter underwater to hold your breath longer. Well, here's the deal. Don't do that alone. Unfortunately, there have been several people in the last 20 years die from holding their breath underwater practicing this 50-meter swim, which, be honest with you, nobody fails at BUD/S. It is one of those tests that they make a big deal about, but we literally had 100 people in my BUD/S class at the time that we took the 50-meter underwater swim. We started with 120. So by the end of the first week, we had lost 20. And we took the 50-meter underwater swim. And 100 people passed it. So we were 100 for 100. It's not that hard. And we only graduated 28. So there's a lot other things you need to worry about than the 50-meter underwater swim. Now, the key to it is, once again, efficiency. Try to go from one end of the pool to the other in as few strokes as possible, holding that glide after the double arm pull and after the kick and recovery. And it has to be streamlined. The more streamlined you are, the easier this 50 meter is. And it's no harder than walking 50 meters and holding your breath. Where people screw this up is they constantly are moving their arms and kicking their legs and trying to get across, and they're exhausted only when they even get halfway across. So the easier 25s you can do, and don't do it alone, because once again, people pass out and die underwater every year practicing these underwater tests. So don't do it. We just had a kid from the Naval Academy pass out on a breath hold and die last year. So, all right. How many days a week should you swim if you're starting to learn how to swim? I would swim as many as you can. I mean, even though, I'd swim at least 5, to be honest with you. And if you can get lessons or have somebody take a video of you swimming and send that video to me, I'll critique it for you. And, you'll at least see some progress. It doesn't do any good to just go in there and beat the water up for an hour every day with bad form. Yeah, you might get in a little bit better swimming shape, but you're kind of wasting your time not learning some techniques off the bat. So make sure you're learning your techniques first, then practice some 50-50s and get in swimming shape. Yeah, if you can go 25 meters easy, that's good. That's really all you need to be able to do. One of my favorite workouts we do is called an over-under, where you swim 25 meters underwater, come back 25 meters on top doing freestyle or CSS, up to you, nice and easy, and then you rest for the remaining time of a minute and a half. So that down and back may take you 50, 60 seconds, so you get 30 seconds rest. Do it again. You got to do 5 of those. And you'll see that starts getting really tough. You may have to add some, few seconds to your rest, when you first do that one. But that's a great one. That's a great PJ test, actually. They do an under-over test that's about 7 minutes long. 7.5 minutes. You got to do 5 1.5 intervals, 1.5 minute intervals of a 25 under and a 25 over. It's a good little challenge. All right. So a few more questions here on fitness. During the calisthenics cycle, if you were to implement back squats, what would the volume or weight look like in order to not hinder your running gains? I would not implement back squats if I'm in a calisthenics cycle. That's the purpose of the calisthenics cycle. If you wanted to add some weight, maybe do kettlebell squats or maybe a sandbag squat. But if you're in a calisthenics cycle, be honest with yourself and do calisthenics. 225 pound max. If you're able to squat 400, why do you need to even do that? Just stick with your calisthenics. Look, here's the things that work real well together: cardiovascular endurance and muscle stamina. All right, those work real well together when you're trying to improve your timed runs or timed swims. What doesn't work very well together is strength power mixed into that. Now, you can maintain your strength and power while you do that, but that takes some real delicate balance of training. I came up with one way to do that last year called increase strength and crush the PST. At the same time, it was actually a strength cycle, but you did 3 weeks of strength followed by 1 week of calisthenics cardio, just kind of give you a deload from the strength training, but it enabled you to still focus that 1 week on calisthenics and crushing PSTs. And we actually had PRs during that winter lift cycle on the runs, on the calisthenics. We were shocked, and we were building up a lot of strength for bodyweight bench press into the 15, 20 range, 20 pound pull-ups for 20. I mean, people were getting strong. Deadlifts, 2 times their body weight. Like I said, it's not a real powerlifting cycle, but it is a cycle where you can smartly mix in calisthenics. If you need to work on your strength, if you don't need to work on your strength, stick with the calisthenics and cardio. Can you talk more about mental clarity and perseverance when your brain is mush from exhaustion? I did a little bit of that at the beginning. In fact, I also wrote an article, and I'm going to share this with you versus talk about it too much. Wrote an article called "Are You Mentally Ready?" It's pretty good. There is an answer. You don't listen to yourself; you talk to yourself, and you can't talk negative. So you got to have positive self-talk. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. And where that gets fixed is when you have a solid why are you doing this, right? If you don't have a good answer for why you are doing this, when times are really dark and gloomy and suck and things aren't going well for you, if you don't have a good answer, things fall apart. What do I think about tendon and ligament dominant exercises to develop farmer strength? You know what, Kate, I'll be honest with you, I'm not that well versed in focusing on just tendon and ligaments movements. For example, eccentric pull-ups. I'm not a big fan of that personally. Especially if you're doing heavy weight lifted pull-ups, because let me tell you why. I have seen many people blow bicep tendons because they're going to do a 50 or 75 pound pull-up and fight gravity the whole way. And next thing I know, little bicep goes pew. Yeah, I would avoid it. 20-pound pull-ups are great, right? That's going to be a very common test that you have to take, something you'll have to do with your job when you have 20-pound, gear on. But yeah, I'm not a fan of heavy pull-ups, eccentric or concentric, either way. So, good question though. All right, so folks, I gotta go. I appreciate your time. You guys want to, thanks for sticking around. You guys want to go to stewsmith.com, use the compete20 code, save 20% on whatever you buy over there. If I missed one of your questions, please just send it either by email, or you can respond to the comment section below. You can contact me on Instagram DMs or now the TikTok, especially if you're wanting some CSS critique help. You guys check that out over there. All right. So until next week, we'll see you later.